Hi, welcome to Education Roundtable. I'm Tom Salter, and today we're very excited to have a very special guest with us, Miss Camille Anderson-Finley, who is in charge of our FACE program, and we'll talk about that in just a second, what is FACE and that sort of thing. But you're a relative newcomer to the system. What, it's been about 3 years, 2 years, something like that?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, fantastic. And you came to us from where?
I did all of my education work in Atlanta. So I was with Atlanta Public Schools for 7 years, and prior to that, Douglas County Schools, which is a suburb or bedroom community of Atlanta, for a couple of years.
Right. When you say you did your education work, is that where you got your degrees as well?
No, my bachelor's degree is actually in marketing. And I got my master's in education from Troy, the satellite campus in Conyers, Georgia, and then my specialist from Liberty.
I knew I liked you for some reason, being a Troy graduate myself. That we have that connection as well. Well, when you first got your bachelor's degree, you went to work for an insurance company. Is that right?
That's exactly correct. I worked for the Chubb Group of Insurance Companies, which is a Fortune 500 company that works with mostly the upper echelon of the community, and I performed underwriting and marketing with them. And I was there for 3 years and relocated to Atlanta with Safeco Insurance Company. And worked for Safeco for 15, 18 years, something like that, before I decided that I was ready for a new career.
Right. Well, I always loved to watch PBS and all the specials brought to you by the Chubb Group. So that's a very familiar name. Well, what you've done before you came to us certainly has prepared you for what you've done, begun here in Montgomery, and you came to us and began a new department, I guess, and it's called FACE. What does that mean?
So FACE stands for Family and Community Engagement, and as part of the intervention process that we're going through, the original intervention team decided that we really needed to begin to collaborate more with the community and develop the partnerships to their fullest potential.
Right.
And so they decided to reorganize us as the Family and Community Engagement Office.
Well, that's fantastic. I know you guys have been extremely busy, and we'll get into some specifics in a few minutes, but what is it about community engagement that helps our student performance?
So there are so many aspects that we can talk about, but anywhere from our partners coming in to help tutor students, where families are actually involved in the learning process, all of those things directly impact student academic performance. The more parents are involved, the more likely they are to check on grades, check on homework, take their students to activities that help develop their critical thinking skills, or where they're allowed to use real activities to use the things that they're learning in the classroom in real world activities.
And that certainly helps the child understand the concept. It shows them that there's application. It's like, I don't know that I've ever really used algebra. I had it 100 years ago, but I don't know that but I probably have, I just didn't realize.
Exactly, so as soon as you go to the grocery store, 2 oranges plus 1 apple equals $12, whatever it may be.
And then the unknown is the tax, and so you've got to figure out what the X is. So I know I use it, but it's one of those things where by keeping the parents engaged and the community engaged, we're able to help engage the children by showing them real world,
application.
real world
Yep.
applications for what they're learning. That's fantastic. When we talk about parental involvement, and this has been one of my things too for a lot of years, and I can't tell you how happy I am that now we've got a whole department devoted to that, because it's a lot. Just doing that's a lot. But when you talk about parental involvement, you don't have to have a PhD in math to help your kid with their homework. You don't have to have a degree in psychology to motivate your child to do the work that he or she needs to do. What is parental involvement? What does it mean?
I think the best way to describe or to explain parental involvement to me is just a parent having a real interest in what he or she's children are doing. It doesn't mean that you're at the school every day. It doesn't, as you said, mean that you have a PhD in mathematics, but it does mean that you are aware of the resources that are available to help you help your child. So if you can't assist your child with his or her algebra homework, to know that there are resources available, that's one of the things that we do with the Family and Community Engagement Department, to make sure that parents are aware of the resources that are available to them to support the work that they're trying to do with their children.
It really can be just as simple as saying, what did you learn in school today? But the key is not to accept nothing as the answer. I remember when my Johanna, my littlest one, or my oldest one, was a little girl, and she came home from first grade, and I said, Boo-Boo, what did you learn in school today? And she went, nothing. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go to that school tomorrow. I'm going to talk to your teacher, and I'm going to find out why you didn't learn anything. And she looked at me with those big brown eyes, and she said, well, we did talk about colors, and she started this long laundry list of things that they had learned in school that day. And but it's important that mom and dad or grandma or whoever is talking to the child about school doesn't just accept nothing as the answer.
And that you're absolutely correct. We do have to really be involved and ask our students, our children, those probing questions about what's transpired during their day, whether we're talking about social studies and, well, if you can't specify what happened today, let me talk to you about things that I know you should have learned or you've learned in the past. What's our state capital, and where is it located in this picture map?
I hope they know that one.
What is your zip code? One of the things
Right.
that kids have a lot of trouble with nowadays is the phone number, because we don't dial so much. We just hit the button and the
Right.
number's there.
Right.
So some of those simple things, and yes, some of those rote memory skills are still important, where we are learning multiplication tables. Yes, it's important with development of critical thinking to know why and the how, but also the actual function of it is important as well. And if that's where you as a parent can be successful, then that's what you should be doing.
We have to be able to know what 2 times 2 is, in case our phone battery is dead and we can't get to the calculator.
Absolutely.
As far as parental involvement, if there's a mom or dad out there and or a grandma and guardian who is just lost and just doesn't, they want to be involved, but even the simple act of talking to their child seems maybe not foreign, that's not the right word, but it causes stress, because a lot of our parents, are not a lot, but there are parents who didn't have good experiences in school, and it makes them not want to promote school to their child because they didn't see the advantage of it. The parents and the students who have the most success, it seems, are the students who have parents who are aware and are very in tune with the fact that education changes lives. And so what should that person, they say, I really want to do this, I'm not sure what to do, what do they do?
So there are a couple of avenues to pursue if you're having those types of difficulties. First and foremost, there's always an opportunity to talk to your child's teacher to find out how or what you can do at home. Even if you've had those difficult challenges when you were in school growing up, it's important to recognize that in 2018, education has to be a priority.
And in 2019.
2019, you're right. It has to be a priority. Right. We have to give our children the tools that they need to be successful, and education is the primary tool. And so even if we have limited skills in that area, there are a variety of resources that we can look for. I remember hearing a story from someone however long ago where their parent couldn't read, but they didn't know their mother or father couldn't read until they were in their late teens, because mom said, read this to me. And if it didn't sound right, mom, that doesn't sound right, read it again.
Right.
And even though the parent couldn't read, they clearly understood that the verb didn't go next to the predicate and something wasn't right. And so they were, pushing that educational piece. But either talking to the students' teachers, even talking to the principal, going to the library and making sure your child has books and setting aside time. And that's one of those difficult things in parenting. It's so easy for us to put a child in front of the TV because we know that they're going to be content in front of the TV. It's easy babysitting.
Right.
But we do have to take that next step, and we do have to provide our kids with the resources that are going to help them improve their own, future opportunities. And so if that means making sure that your child comes home every weekend with a book from their school media center, and for a half an hour you are going to read. You don't get to watch any TV until after you've read this book, and you're going to tell me what you've read. And as dad or mom or grandma is cooking dinner, you can tell me, TV off, what you did.
Sure.
So those are the types of activities that we as parents can easily be involved in.
And the earlier they begin those habits, the more not only will be more effective because the children learn earlier, but because it's something that if when you try to start this and they're a senior in high school, please do it if you haven't. But if you try to, you get more resistance and you get more pushback. Well, let's talk, change gears a little bit. Before I do though, we also have some online tools now for parents who want to be involved, including the portal, the parent portal that we have. All you've got to do is just go to your child's school, take take a picture ID. A video ID would work, I guess, but a picture ID, and you can get a free access and password to the parent portal. You can log in from your smartphone or from your laptop or computer, and see their homework assignments. You can see their grades, and you can even see their discipline
and attendance.
Exactly. So that's in it. There's no cost. It's easy to do. So please do that if you haven't already. Back to FACE. You've been working very hard. You mentioned partnerships earlier, in developing some partnerships. Talk a little bit about who our partners are, ranging from individuals to companies and churches, and what they're doing to help Montgomery Public Schools.
Our partners are so important to what we do every day. They've provided so many opportunities for our students, giving them exposure to some things that they may not ordinarily be exposed to, and access to events and programming they may not ordinarily have access to. We partner with public entities, private businesses, nonprofits, governmental organizations, the whole gamut. Right now, one of the most exciting activities that we're involved in is our partnership with That's My Child, with the City of Montgomery and with the Montgomery Police Department, where we provide or have worked to put together our youth forum. So we've 20 9th and 10th graders from all of our schools and 20 7th and 8th graders from all of our schools. And the students get together at their schools once a month and are working on leadership skills. And then every third month, we gather together as an entire group and work on additional leadership skills. They've had the opportunity to have guest speakers and some real talk back questions where they've asked questions to folks of all those entities, and we as adults have asked them questions so that we can be better prepared to support them and lead them. And so that's one of the partnerships. We've also developed several faith-based partnerships that have worked with us to put together backpack programs at a variety of schools. Church of the Highlands, I think St. Paul's, St. John's, Fraser, just to name a few of the churches that are involved in the backpack program.
And talk a little bit about the backpack program. I know Mona Davis, when she was on my staff, she worked very hard on that, and she left, and it didn't go as quickly until you guys came along and started pushing it on through.
Well, we've been very blessed. So what's happened is there are a variety of, or quite a few churches and private organizations that have chosen to support our children that have challenges over the weekend where they don't have access to the CNP program or the child nutrition program that's available at school. And so on the weekends, they may not have a variety of foodstuffs or nutritional food to eat. And so the backpack program provides them with weekend meals. We started off the year, I think there were probably about 15 maybe schools that were receiving support, and we've been able to add, I think, an additional 5.
Great.
With the support of churches. We've had nonprofit partnerships with Ties and Dolls that have actually did a food collection for us, as well as financial donation that have allowed us in the Family and Community Engagement Department to actually put together a backpack program in support of 2 of our schools.
That's fantastic. And it really is an issue. Nutrition is so important to student achievement, and when we have families who aren't able to provide the nutrition for their children because of financial problems, this is fantastic. It's a no-brainer. It's easy, and it really does make a difference.
Absolutely.
Now, and if you're interested in any of the stuff we've talked about today, and we've got more to talk about, but wanted to interject that you can call the main number for MPS 223, I got it, 6700, and ask for FACE. That's easy to remember, and just ask for FACE, and they'll connect you with Camille. In addition to those partnerships, you've also been working very hard to reach out to parents and community. We mentioned parent engagement earlier, and one of the things that you've done that I think is really cool is the stuff at the mall. Talk a little bit about your scavenger hunts and the things that you do at the mall.
Well, we've been blessed to partner with Eastdale Mall to do quite a few parent or family-oriented events. So in the spring and in the fall, we have scavenger hunts. And in the spring, we have the literacy scavenger hunt. In the fall, we've had the math scavenger hunt. And what families are able to do is they'll come to the mall, we'll give them a sheet, and they will try and find the items or do the calculations at the mall, or at the mall stores, or the food kiosk, and those types of things. The store providers have been very supportive of us trying to do that. We've also had a couple of parent resource fairs. One was the nonprofit fair, where we were able to gather quite a few of the nonprofits around the Montgomery area river region to let people know what it is they offer at their nonprofit. And later in the spring, we'll have the other resource fair, which allows us to bring all of the summer providers together. So those that are having summer camps or programming will all come together and be able to explain to folks what it is that they're doing at their particular programs.
You know, those summer activities are so important for student achievement. There are just tons of research that shows that over the summer, even over winter break, that students lose some of their some of the knowledge that they've acquired, and so keeping the mind active and keeping them involved in things over the summer months especially is particularly important.
You're absolutely correct. We've been able to, in a lot of the summer programs that we've spoken to, even when it is a program designed around a lot of physical activity, they have learned to incorporate some of the skills that students learn during the day. So if they're on the basketball court, the coach may remind them that they're playing with a sphere, that this is the court is made up of 90-degree angles and so on and so forth, but just reminding kids that everything we do, we can apply some of the concepts that we've learned in school too. And so it just brings it full circle for our students.
I know what your evil plan is. Your evil plan is to make parents use algebra on those scavenger hunts. I know that's
it.
I know that's what you're trying to do. What about what's next? What's next for FACE?
We are excited about a variety of things that we have coming up on the horizon. We have network nights.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Those are really impressive.
Thank you. We are really excited. We've been able to partner with the Montgomery Education Foundation at quite a few of our schools to produce the network nights. And those are opportunities for members of the community to come in and talk about whatever it is surrounding education that's important to them. We've had conversations anywhere from trash on particular campus to how can we help our students get to class on time, to providing students with extracurricular opportunities. And that conversation is completely driven by the people in attendance. So we ask them what it is they want to talk about. And then we break up into groups and we expand that conversation and we talk about the challenges, but more importantly, we talk about possible solutions and how to be able to implement some of those solutions.
It is about problem solving, and it's just amazing to watch the ideas that come out of those what seemingly simple conversations. They can really make a difference and impact not only a school or the system, it can impact an individual student or an individual community person, because it's not just, I mean, education's a focus, but other things come up as well, right?
Absolutely. For example, the parents were trying to determine how to best support their students. So again, trying to do homework and those types of things, and weren't familiar with some of the resources that are available, the homework hotline and a variety of tutorial supports that are available through our local libraries. One of our church partners that was in attendance was able to offer free tutorial at the local church. So there are a lot of connections, and that's one of the important aspects of the network night, are the connections that can be made. Students who were looking for employment, that was an opportunity.
Sponsorships with clubs.
Exactly,
I know you
over
helped.
at Lee High School.
Yeah.
And those conversations can develop into much bigger things. So we are working to plan events based off of some of those conversations that have taken place in order to support the needs that were expressed at those meetings.
And you can always find the meeting dates and times and other things on our website, www.engageeducateinspire.org, and just look for the FACE, FACE under departments. I think that's where it
correct.
is, isn't it? Under departments, and you can get specifics. We just have a couple of minutes left. Tell me some more stuff. What else are you working on?
So the Family and Community Engagement Department is also right now responsible for 3 of our after-school programs at E.D. Nixon, E.T. Davis, and at Bellingraph. And we've been working on writing some additional grants to try and expand those opportunities. We are in the process of implementing the Civil Air Patrol
Oh, that's wonderful.
at Goodwin Middle School, and we've had our second meeting, and we had, I think, at least 25 kids show up, and so we're excited about that.
I used to be
And
in
that's
this.
our partnership through Maxwell and the Gathering of Eagles. And they're just coming out to do all the work, and we're looking forward to seeing some of our students flying overhead as beginning pilots through those programs.
Wonderful. Well, I have my pilot's license, and I used to be in the Civil Air Patrol, but it's a wonderful organization, so I know the kids. And we've had had a scholarship offered not too long ago that would allow a student to get their pilot's license at no cost, and that's about 10 grand now.
Absolutely.
So we're always looking for those kinds of opportunities. Well, you're not alone in your office. You have
That's correct.
You have a little
our
bit of
parent
help.
engagement specialist for Lisa Dotson, and she trains all of our parent liaisons across the district, as well as implements a variety of programs for parents. Parent college preparedness we had last month, and we're having another one in February of 2019. So we are looking forward to making sure parents have all the information that they need to prepare their kids to go off to higher ed.
And it takes a lot of preparation. And so the bottom line here is that we have resources, right?
Absolutely.
All right. And all you have to do to find out more about those resources is to go to our website, www.engageeducateinspire.org. And once you get there, look under departments and look for FACE, Family and Community Engagement, and there'll be some information there about meetings and other resources that are available. Thank you so much for being with us today, Camille. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. It's great information, and we appreciate you being with us as well today on Education Roundtable. We hope you'll stick around and watch another couple episodes that'll be coming up really soon. Thanks. Have a great day.